Is speeding a sin? We're going to answer that question. You can also discover more on GotQuestions.org. Paul is very clear when he tells us everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. In spite of how we might try to twist the scriptures, as Christians, we have a God-directed responsibility to obey the laws that our government has established, unless the laws contradict God's word. We also need to ask ourselves, what kind of example are we to the people who know we are Christians and who we are trying to reach with the gospel of Christ? How many times have we seen someone speeding by us only to notice the fish or some other Christian symbol on their bumper? This definitely sends the wrong message. It's interesting how we try to justify our actions, even knowing they're not in compliance with the will of God or with established laws. As for exceeding the posted speed limit, we often tell ourselves that it's not nearly as bad as the so-called bigger sins, such as lying, or adultery, or murder. But Solomon, the wisest man to have ever lived, put it this way: doing wrong is like a joke to a fool, but wisdom is pleasure to a man of understanding. Though some will think nothing of breaking the law, we know assuredly that some will be quick to point out our hypocrisy. As followers of Christ, we need to carefully consider our manner of life in all things before the Lord, and this includes our driving habits. It was the prophets of old who declared, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight." Malachi goes on to tell us God's weariness with Israel when they, oblivious to their sin, said to him, "All who do evil are good in the eyes of the Lord, and he is pleased with them." May we not follow the example of the ancients who wearied God with their lame excuses and justifications for their evil deeds. Yes, speeding is a sin. Again, we must always consider our manner of living, not only before the eyes of God, but also before the eyes of our fellow man. The reason we don't break the law by speeding is that we love God and respect His authority. It was Peter who commanded, "Submit yourselves, for the Lord's sake, to every authority instituted among men, whether to the king as the supreme authority, or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish men." That answers the question, is speeding a sin? Research this question further on our website, GotQuestions.org. Give a thumbs up and be sure to click subscribe. Now meanwhile, if you'd like to study more, click the bell and check out these other questions.